Today we are going to talk about summer break. Oh my gosh, I'm just going to say that today is the day where we really look and see where we're at, and then we look and see what is going to happen at the end of summer with our current plans. So, if you bear with me just a second, I'm going to just make sure that I'm going live in all the places where I am supposed to be going live today. So, I'm trying to deal with a software for streaming, and it's been interesting. I'm just saying it's been interesting. So I'm really trying to make sure that we are going live and in Facebook group, in my Facebook profile, in YouTube, and all the places. So it's a little bit overwhelming right now, but right now it's really all about summer break. So I'm just going to get right into it. I don't know if this is going to work, but it's all good. It's all good. Let's just assume that it's going to. Let's just assume that it's going to. So, you guys, I want to talk about summer break. And let's say for my English teacher mind, to summer break or not to summer break? That is the question today. And so, what I want to do today is talk about where you are now and what you've got planned for summer break, and if you are taking a summer break, and what does that mean for when we're done with summer break and we're trying to get back in the groove. Now, I asked you guys in the Facebook group, I asked you in my personal profile, I asked you guys, did you guys take usually a summer break? And some of you said you did. Some of you said that you didn't, and you just kind of go with the flow. Some of you said you slow down, but you don't necessarily break, or you take breaks when you need to. Okay. This really depends a lot on your unique situation. And it also depends a lot on three different factors that I'm going to tell you about today. Okay. So, the three different factors I'm going to tell you about today are: one, you need to consider what your family's level of love of learning is right now. If you don't know that, it's okay. Go to the show notes anywhere you're listening or watching this podcast, and download your love of learning assessment. It's a free PDF, and just download it and take it right now, because what it will do for you is that it's going to show you a snapshot of where your love of learning is right now in your family. Some people are like, oh man, I thought it was higher than it was. And some people, not as much. So I want to make sure that you take that right away, and then you go and you take it again in like a couple weeks, and you take it again in the middle of the summer, and you take it again at the end of the summer, because it's going to show you a lot about where you are and what you need to do. If your level of love of learning is low, you may need to do something different. If your level of love of learning is high, then you're probably good, right? So what you're doing is working. Okay, so take that right away. The second thing I want you to consider is how it feels in May, right now, at the end of the school year. How does it feel to you? How do you feel? Does the whole family feel exhausted? Does the whole family feel like, ugh, we cannot wait to get over this May so we can be done? We can't wait to finish our curriculum, quote unquote, so we can be done. If that's you, your level of love of learning is lower than you probably think it is, or you might know that it's already low. And you're going to have to do something different over the summer. Okay. Otherwise, what's going to happen is, if we don't do what's going to increase level of learning, or at least keep it consistently mostly high, then we're going to lose love of learning more over the summer. I'll tell you what I mean, okay? Oh, but the other thing I want to share first is I want to share the third factor to think about, which is the message that you're sending. And this is wrapped up in the other two. It really, really is. What is the message you're sending about learning right now? And then what is the message you're sending about learning with what you have planned for the summer, okay? So you have three options here. and you have three options to think about. And I really want you to think about what your goal is by the end of the summer. Is it to feel like we're just gonna, we don't want to get started again. Oh, we have to do this. Oh, and the kids are complaining. Oh man, this is lame. Or are you excited about next year? You're excited about learning. You're looking forward to all the things, and the kids are already asking you, "Can we do this next year? Can we do that next year?" Okay, so you have to consider what your goals are, and then you have three options. So, depending on your goals. One is if you want to increase love of learning, if your love of learning is not already very high, even if it's just kind of, it's there, but it's like, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. If you want to increase it, this is a perfect time to do a family reset. You guys, I've talked about the family reset a lot. If you don't know what the family reset is, I think it's episode 12, I want to say, in the podcast. You can go back and listen to that, or watch that on YouTube, or it's not in the Facebook group anymore, but you can watch it on YouTube, and or in the podcast. And so if you use it as an intentional family reset, you can absolutely start the next year in a totally different, amazing place where you're all in your groove and super excited. You guys, this is my favorite time for parents to get started in the Inspiring Lifelong Learning program because of that reason, right? This is such a great time. But whatever you do, the summer is a great time for increasing love of learning if you're intentional about it, right? Your second option is if you're good, you just want to keep it the same, whatever, life is happening, and that happens. It's okay. Life happens, right? Sometimes we just got a lot going on, right? And so if you are in that keeping it the same, you got to think about what you're doing during the summer that's going to keep it the same. Okay, because the option 3 is not doing anything and not being intentional and just everybody doing their own thing, everybody taking a break, everybody like a literal brain break, and everybody just going, doing other things, and you're not intentionally sending a message about learning. And if that's the case, guaranteed you'll be at a lower level of learning level. I'm talking about the whole family. Lower level of love of learning by the end of the summer. Okay? So either you've doing the same thing you've done already, you increase it, or you're going down. Okay? And you notice that doing the same thing you've done already and keeping it the same, you have to actually do something to send the right message of love of learning, right? You can't just do the nothing, because in the absence of intention, decrease sets in for everything, right? I mean, we look at absence of intention of eating right, your body starts to break down. Absence of attention into learning something, you start to fall behind the curve, right? So there has to be some intention there if you intend to at least keep it at level, if not increase it. If you don't have intention, you will decrease love of learning, and you're going to start out next year with I don't want to do this, and you're going to dread it. I know, I've been there. I dreaded every day that we were in this beginning part of our homeschool journey, and I killed it by pushing and box checking and really only focusing on the educational should stuff that we should be doing, and doing only like workbooks and textbooks and things with a 6-year-old. Not really only, but a lot of it. And I was hating life, and he was hating life, and we started anticipating the struggle, anticipating the frustration. And that's what happens. So if you're ending the year with frustration and complaining and it's struggling, if you don't do something different, next year is going to be the same way, right? So you got to change something. Something's got to give in order to increase that. And it has to be intentional. You have to do the things that increase love of learning. We have to send the message of love of learning, right? So notice that intentionality is very, very important. Now, you could use this, like I said, to just catapult y'all's love of learning in your family. And you could be super juiced by the time it starts. You could be in your groove. You could be doing your thing and just rolling right into it. And I love that use of time because it really is a natural break for most homeschoolers, most just generally society. It's a natural break. So it's a great time for us to do a family reset, to get in a new routine, to get in our new groove, and to get love of learning high. Does that make sense? I hope it does make sense to you because this is really a pivotal time. This is important, not to just take and just everybody relax. And I'm being a little bit over the top here, but everybody just play video games, whatever you want, sort of thing, you know. And that's not what we're talking about because that will lower love of learning. And then when you come back to it, especially if you come back doing the same things you were doing last year, and even if you had the intention and you've changed some things up, if you are not doing the same, if you still have love of learning very low, then it's going to get the same result. I had a lot of people come to me and say, "Well, we took a break over Christmas break. Like we didn't do anything over Christmas break, and then we came back and we still hated. Everything was still the same." That's because they didn't do anything different. They didn't change their thinking. They didn't change their family routines. They just did the same thing expecting a different result because we took a break. And that's very popular in homeschooling vocabulary and homeschooling vernacular right now, like just that taking a D-school, taking a break, but it has to be intentional. We have to be intentionally building, not just breaking. So I hope this is making sense because this is powerful stuff, you guys. It's super powerful. So what you need to do is think about the message that you're sending with everything that you're going to do. I keep talking about this, and this is my mantra till the end of time. It's going to be, but what message are you sending about learning with everything you do, right? Has to be intentional. So the message of love of learning, you guys know this, I've talked about this a lot, is what? It's learning happens everywhere all the time, right? If learning happens everywhere all the time, then we are constantly in this state. It's just, as my son says, just what we do. If you go back in the podcast and you watch the episode with my son about what high love of learning looks like, what a lifelong learner looks like, I did a podcast with my son and I asked him a really hard question. I said, what is it that we do or did that made you love learning so much? And that was a tough one. I threw him for a loop on that. I knew I was going to. It's okay. And so he thought about it and he was like, gosh, I don't know. And he says, I don't know. It's just what we do. I couldn't have asked for a more perfect question or perfect answer. That was exactly it. It's just what we do. It's just what we do. So you guys, I want you to think about this. And personally speaking, we don't summer break. We take breaks throughout the year when necessary, when we're going, but really we're not taking breaks from learning anytime. We may take breaks in our routine, but we don't take breaks from learning ever. And so it's really about thinking about the different ways that we can learn in the different places when we're on vacation and all of these things. You guys, I had a parent, a good friend of mine, actually, I've known for years, and she's homeschooled for a very, very, very long time. But she's homeschooled in a very box checking manner. She'll tell you that. And she called me, I think it was last year, she called me and she said, okay, we're going to Hawaii and I just want to know how much time can I really take off of doing school? And she says, do we need to bring it with us? We're going to be going for like 2 weeks. Is that too long? And I was like, girl, what are you talking about? You're going to Hawaii. There's so much learning that can happen there. It's so awesome. And she was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that. I was like, yeah, there's so much learning there. Don't leave your textbooks at home. Leave your workbooks at home. Don't take those things with you. And immerse the kids in the experience of learning in another place. This is so fun, you guys. It's something you can do all the time. I'm going to talk more about that later as we go through the summer. But one of the things I want you to think about right now is, what are your plans? And I know if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you have great plans about learning. And I just want you to be intentional about it, okay? So I want you to really think about where you're ending the year, and I want you to think about what your intention is for the summer. And if you're putting them in a camp, you're putting them in whatever, that's fine. I'm talking about everyday life. Right? Every day, what's happening when we're not doing something special, right? Some special vacations, some special camps, some special whatever. Those things are great too. But what are we doing every day that's increasing love of learning? Okay. We have to be intentional. I know it's hard. I know we just want to take a break. But guess what? When it becomes part of your culture, which is exactly what we do in the Inspiring Lifelong Learning Program, when it becomes part of it's just what we do, as my son says, then it's just, you almost can't get away from it. You can't stop learning. You just can't. And it becomes who you are. And that is exactly what a lifelong learner is. That's what my son does all the time. He's constantly looking things. He cannot pass by a bookshelf without going like that and, what's over there? And just reading the titles, or if a book shows up, my husband ordered a book. Actually, my brother-in-law got him a book, and it was about Wall Street. And it had it, I didn't even know it was coming. I hadn't even looked at it. It just showed up at the door. Thank you, brother-in-law, for that, by the way. Kenyon picked it up. It was on the table. He picked it up, read the back, and started reading it. And then he's telling my husband all about it. And my husband's like, whoa, wait, I want to read the book too. And he's like, by the end of the next day, he's like halfway through the book. He just can't stop pulling. This is fascinating. This, da-da-da. Daddy, did you know about this? Da-da-da. And it's so interesting. It really is amazing to watch your kids just blossom like that. And you almost have to, okay, slow down, hold on. I'm not ready for that yet. What a great problem to have, right? I mean, that's so awesome. So when you're thinking about summer break, when you're putting together your summer break plans, I know a lot of you already put it together, you've already signed up for camps and things. I want you to think about your everyday happenings. I want you to think about all that stuff and really be intentional. If you need help with that, I'm your girl. Hey, man, that's exactly what I'm here for. Let's get on the phone. Let's chat. I've been listening to a lot of one of my coaches. He's Australian, and Colin Boyd. He's absolutely amazing. And I always want to say now, because I'm listening to him so much, say have a chat. Like Australians, you guys say have a chat. So let's have a chat and let's talk about where you are now at the end of the year, where you want to be at the end of the summer. And let's figure out a plan to get you there. Because you guys, intentionality makes a difference. And sometimes it's hard to see that. It's hard to see when we don't know what the intentional steps are. It really does make a difference in our brains to have new information and to have somebody to just chat it out with. So to have a chat. I love it, you guys. Okay, so wherever you are watching this, listening to this, you can see where you can schedule a call with me and we can make it happen, okay? So I'm excited. I'm excited to talk with you. I'm excited about your summer break, and I want to hear about what your plans are, okay? What your plans are right now. So let me know. You can DM me on social, Facebook, Instagram. You can also, I'm on LinkedIn too if you want to share there. Or just book a call with me and let's talk about it. I want to hear your plans because this is important. And I'm not here to judge it either way. You do you, man. But if you want to increase it, let's hear your plans. If it's worked for you in the past, let's hear your plans. Other people will benefit from that too, okay? All right, you guys, I have enjoyed chatting with you today about this. This is so up my alley and everything I'm about. And so I can't wait to chat with you individually or get a DM from you either way. And I will see you again next week. Bye-bye.